Hi YouTube, I'm back. I'm being punished for abandoning you, my TouchDesigner community, on this platform. But maybe posting every week will help. I'm here to explain the sister component to the analog TV I just put out last week, 5 days ago. This is the lightweight Scanline aesthetic thingamajig thing I made last year. I've used this creatively. At its baseline, it's just a Scanline filter that you can use many, many times in a project. It's very efficient. So here's the controls. It's very simple. So again, we're working with a grid. It's just rows and columns and an offset for each. Now, what you're seeing, these numbers are how many pixels between each new line. So depending on your resolution, it will change what that looks like. And I'm going to unplug my camera and show you how that works. See, now the default is defaulting to 720 or whatever. 14 pixels between each of them is a lot more obvious than the 4K webcam I was showing you earlier. It should be fairly obvious. What's not so obvious is maybe the blurring. Let's turn that back on. The grid blur size is, this is also how many pixels is it blurring. The post blur size is the same thing. So one of them is blurring the grid itself and the other one is blurring the whole image. So yeah, you can play around with that. But the most interesting thing, I guess, is maybe this. This is basically your blend knob, and it goes from dry to an average of the dry and wet to wet. So it's like a kind of interesting crossfade between your blur. And then it's just got an ability to invert the grid and, you know, control your black levels, brightness, gamma. I was playing with this. It wasn't at the defaults, but yeah, it's just to dial in a look. Try throwing this in a feedback loop. Some of my very interesting projects started with experimenting with this. So there you go. That's my freebie included with the more heavy processing of the analog TV filter. None of the creative glitchy stuff. Although maybe I should try a lighter weight version of that isn't using 3D, and just for some reason the setup values don't go high enough. I mean, you'd have to go in here to edit it. It's not that crazy, but it's using all of these constants as math for the step values. So if you want different control, you can alter these, and it will give you, you know, you could make this last one of 28 higher if you needed it to be chunkier for some reason. So a value of 14, okay, that's not the pixels, it's switching between all of these, but it's got to be in even increments to be evenly distributed. The whole reason I made this was because you can get a ramp with a very small period, and if it's like black in the middle and then white right away and end on white again, you know, it's like you can get scan lines, get these really small values, but they end up not being equal. It's just impossible to get it to repeat perfectly. This is just more controllable and consistent. That's the whole idea. And honestly, like, imperfections are cool, but like if you're trying to mimic something analog, it's not going to be that. It's going to be its own thing. So love the ramp, but I was looking for something a little bit more consistent, and that's how we got this perfect Scanlines. If you want an imperfect version, let me know. All right, I think that's it. I will do my best to see you soon. Peace.